Gaze reading where the greats drop by. Trendy authors tell us all the who, what, and why. Anyone can listen, cause we're spoiler free. Gaze reading, from Pulitzer stars to book club picks, where the curious minds can get their fix. So you say you're not gay, well that's okay. There's something for everyone. Gaze reading.
Hello and welcome to Gaze Reading and today's episode of What Are You Reading?, where my guest is Sapphira Cristál, who was most recently on RuPaul's Drag Race as a finalist and was voted Miss Congeniality. She's here to talk about her upcoming comedy tour, One Slue Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and you can learn more about that at the link in the show notes. Tickets are on sale now. She starts tour, I believe, next week. Touring to different places all around the country. If you are new to Gaze Reading, welcome. Welcome back. If you are returning again, if you like what you're hearing, please, it means so much to share the show with your friends, whether you want to post something on Instagram or like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast or write a review, whatever it is, means so much and helps this little indie podcast grow and become, the place to be. I don't know. What else is happening? Always trying to plug the book festival that I'm producing, the Palm Springs Book Festival happening at the end of March, psbookfest.org. You can learn more about that. Lots of exciting authors and other bookish people are going to be there, taking place in Palm Springs. There are 2 ticketed days and there's 1 completely free day. So particularly if you're nearby, no excuses, come on and hang out with us at the PS Book Fest. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here and enjoy my conversation with Sapphira Cristál. How are you today?
I am good. I had a later start to the day than I usually do. I usually like to wake up around 6:30 in the morning, but today I allowed myself to sleep in.
That seems very early for a drag queen.
Well, yes, that's early for a drag queen who works in nightclubs, but it's not early for a drag queen who doesn't.
I assume that I'm just making assumptions over here across the board. In your blood, drag queens just do not wake up when the sun is not up.
Well, I mean, that used to be the case, but I realized that I wasn't getting enough done. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm no longer working in clubs that have me out until 2 a.m. I'm writing. I'm writing comedy sets. I'm writing music all day. I'm doing things that literally I would rather do in the morning when I get up and I'm fresh. My mind is fresh and my brain is fresh. My body is fresh. I get some food. I go write. I go learn some techniques about writing or about, promoting myself.
Yeah.
I just learn a lot of stuff in the daytime. I put myself back in my own little school, basically.
Oh, I love.
Because, in many ways, I was prepared for this, but in many ways, there's still a lot of learning to do. I came from a very analog way of learning, even music. So, I learned to write music, to write the music and give it to someone who can read the music. But now we're in a different place where some of the most successful people can't even read music or write it physically, and that's okay. I just need to catch up.
For sure. No, I totally get it. We're roughly the same age. And I also came from a time where technology is just moving a lot faster than we are. And that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we also came from a time when we came from a time when we were told, if you do this and do this and do this, then this will be the result. And then everything just got taken up from under our feet. And so we had to sort of learn. And now everyone came under us grew up with technology. And so they're like, oh, what do you mean you don't know how to do this thing? And I'm like, I grew up with technology too, but just not what you grew up with. The stuff I grew up with is not in existence to me.
I saw a funny meme yesterday that said, this is how we turned the computer on in the 90s. And it was a picture of a foot and a big toe pushing the button on the tower of a computer. And I was like, yes, that's how we turn the computer on.
Yeah.
Speaking of analog, a fabulous thing that's analog is a book. Sapphira Cristál, welcome to Gaze Reading.
Thank you.
Look at that segue.
I love to read. I love to read the dolls. I love to read books. I love to have them read to me and read them at the same time. I'm the kind of person who like will listen to an audiobook while I read because I have ADHD and I have to have them both.
I'm the same. Here's a PSA. There's also this thing called Speechify. Are you familiar with Speechify?
Yes. Are they a sponsor?
No, but I want them to be. I'm just a big
Speechify, what are you doing?
I'm just a big fan of Speechify, and I'm obsessed. And Gwyneth Paltrow reads me every single book that I have on my phone while I'm also simultaneously reading the physical copy. I get it.
Yes, Gwyneth.
Sapphira, I have to know, what are you reading? What have you been reading? Tell me more.
I've been writing. So reading
Yes.
lately has not been actually a thing of my true. But my partner is a poet and a novelist and a screenwriter. And so I've been reading his poetry.
Fab.
He has a book called We're Here, We're Queer. We're Here and We're Writing Queer Poetry, which is his new book. Eli, bring your book.
Come on, Eli.
You're next to you in the box.
It's right there next to you in that box. We're not editing any of this out.
We're here and we're writing queer poetry, and it's a queer poet, queer, not even that long,
Yeah.
not even that thick, but like, I love it. It's got a whole song, a whole poem called Redacted,
Oh, what a time, huh?
and this is actually an older older book. This book is from, I don't know,
Eli was
years ago.
at the ready to answer your call.
Yeah.
Is Eli making sure that you're doing a good job? Is that what's happening?
Eli's upstairs doing his own thing.
That was very close.
I'm just loud.
It's your
Even has
analog
stuff in his
intercom
ears.
system.
Exactly.
Right.
When you have to be like, I grew up in the South, and when you want to hear someone to hear you, in the South, we don't really feel like leaving the room for conversation. Justin, did you clean your room? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His new book is called New Names for Old Souls. And I really like this one. It's really sweet. It's about relationships, and it's just another poetry book, but it's a very sweet poetry book. Hence the little
The hand holding
illustration.
Yes, of
And
course.
he does all the illustrations for all his own poetry. So I really looked out with the one who's well read, writes for film. So eventually he might be writing for me. He's an artist. So
Between the two of you,
baby, between the two of us, we have a whole Tyler Perry
production line.
production line.
Yes. Oh my God. So you said that you love to read. Have you always loved to read?
No, I haven't always loved to read because I have, some, I wouldn't say disabilities. I would say,
Hurdles.
I would just say that because there are some things that sort of always take my attention, it's a little difficult for me personally to focus on a book.
Yeah.
Because eventually it just starts to, like, I'll read a line that makes me think of a thing, and now I'm on that trail. I'm no longer here, and I will continue to read physically. But my brain did not comprehend a single thing I read, which is the reason why I have to read and listen at the same time. If I'm listening to a book while I'm driving, same thing happens. Driving, and then they'll say something, I'll be like, yeah, that's right. I remember when.
Huh?
Then I come back and I'm like, oh, dang it. I got to rewind.
What are we talking about now? Of course.
Yeah,
No,
where are
I
we in
fully
this book
get
now?
it. I have a very hard time just listening to an audiobook, and
Yeah.
my ADHD gets in the way of just reading a book. So having the two things simultaneously is very helpful. Yeah.
I'm also reading Jesse Norman's books, Stand Up Straight and Sing.
Okay.
And it's her, I think, biography, yeah. And it's about her life and, how, when she was young, her teacher said, her mother said, stand up straight and sing.
Mm.
That's all you got to do. Just stand up straight and say, you got the voice, just do it. Just do the thing. And sometimes we have to remember to just do the thing. We know that we have it. We're not here for no reason.
Yeah. But it's funny, not funny, but you talking about her makes me think about, you're an opera singer. You were just talking about reading music. And I had, not to name drop, but when Stacey Abrams was on Gays Reading, she said to me, She was like, Jason, you have to stop saying that you are a late in life reader. You're not a late in life reader because you have a background in theater and you read plays and you read other things. You just weren't reading books. And I was like,
Yeah.
yes, thank you, Stacey Abrams. So you have been reading music. You've been reading all sorts. You've been reading the dolls.
Baby, I read the dolls all the time.
Yes.
I read music. I've read a lot of plays. I've been in a lot of plays. I read my bills.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, I've been reading my tax returns. I've been reading my tax forms.
Yes.
I read contracts. If that's the case, baby, I am an avid reader.
This is what I'm saying. And that's what I find
Thank you, Stacey.
This is what's so funny because I'm just like, oh, we all have this skill set that we forget about. We think about reading and we're like, school, I'm going to have a test on this thing that I'm reading. It's no, we're using this as a skill on a daily basis. And so that's what I love about these conversations because it makes us stop and think about, oh, we're reading all the time.
Yeah.
When you are reading, you mentioned a couple of things that are nonfiction or poetry. Is that sort of where you find things that you're enjoying because, it's a little easier to pay attention to? What kind of a story do you like?
I do like nonfiction. I do like biographies as well, self-help books. I like books that really make my life easier and make me see the world easier. I read the Bible. I read
When you
I
say
like learning.
When you talk about self-help, I'm curious what your brand of self-help is. Because some people are like, oh, I want to quell my anxiety. Some people are like, read every diet book in the world. Some people, it's about spirituality. What's your sort of avenue when it comes to that?
Well, I'm pretty, set on my spirituality, and I'm pretty set in and by set, I mean I've done a lot of work on them. I've listened to Tyler Perry's book, which is really a really inspirational book, and I read it a long time ago, so I'm gonna have to look it. Can you still see me?
Yes.
Did I go away?
Just for a brief moment.
Okay, so I won't go look it up.
Good eyeball.
But it was really great because he would tell a story, and then he would give you a scripture to his story. And
Higher is Waiting.
Yes,
By
it's a
Tyler
great
Perry.
book.
Okay.
It's a really great book, and I believe he reads it. And it's just so good. And he writes the way he writes. The way he writes a lot of things.
Yeah.
And as much as I love to watch Tyler Perry, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, we know it is what it is. So when you watch a Tyler Perry show, you're like, okay, we're going to go watch a Tyler Perry film, or we're going to go watch a Tyler Perry show or musical, or they're musicals.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to call them musicals, but they're musicals.
Yeah.
We're going to watch a Tyler Perry musical, and it's like, if anyone else wrote like this, they'd be read to shreds. And honestly, people do read Tyler Perry to shreds. However, that does not stop him from being the force that he is.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me feel like, okay, then there's nothing to stop me from just going balls to the wall for whatever I want. Because no one said you had to be perfect. They just said you had to be there. They said you had to do it. And when you do it, and when you show up, then your people will come to you.
Yeah.
But there's so many people who are trying to be perfect, and perfection is a scale that is built on someone else's image. So they want to be perfect compared to who? Mm-hmm. So you're already comparing yourself. You've already lost.
And so you're doing the Tyler Perry thing now, where you've written your show, you have your show, which it's not the Tyler Perry thing, no? Is that what you're going to say?
I don't know that Tyler Perry has ever done stand-up.
No, but still writing for himself.
Yeah.
You're grabbing the bull by the horns and saying, I'm taking I'm doing my thing. Yeah, You're going to put on your coat behind you and put on a show, which of course the title is, you might immediately think movie, but is inspired by a book title. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but of course your show is
One Slue Over the Cuckoo's Nest. A book, then a play, then a movie.
Uh-huh. So tell the children, what is your stand-up? What is One Slue Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Where does Slue come from for the people who are not paying attention?
Yeah, if you've never heard of slew foot, it's just when your feet sort of if your feet come in, if your toes point inward, that's called pigeon-toed.
Mm-hmm.
If your feet point outwards, like you're in first position as like a ballet, that's called being slew foot. And it happens a lot when you have a dump truck. And
I was literally taking a sip of water when you said that. I almost did a spit take. I did not know where that was going. That's amazing. Carry on.
And it happens a lot when you are, blessed in between. So like there's just two ways. I don't think those are necessarily the only ways it happens, but also it does happen a lot. I will say those things correlate.
We get it.
And
She's blessed.
I also have hip dysplasia, which also makes my hip, come out why I'm slew foot. But I'm only slew foot on one leg for that reason and the other leg for, I guess, other reasons, because I have no idea why they're both out like that. RuPaul said to me on the Jimmy Kimmel show, she goes, I call you Slewfoot, Sapphira. Sapphira, I call you Slewfoot. And she goes, you know why? And I go, because I'm Slewfoot. She goes, I said, because I got a Slewfoot. And she goes, you don't just have one Slewfoot. They're both Slewfoot. And I was like, y'all just find something to laugh at every year, don't you? I love it. I'm glad I was the one.
Yeah, seriously.
When they laugh at you, they love you.
And you are taking it on the road.
And I'm taking it on the road because, it's necessary. That whole time I was on RuPaul's Drag Race, the reason that is relevant for the people who didn't watch my season of RuPaul's Drag Race is that RuPaul would constantly just call me Slewfoot.
Yeah.
And he and Michelle would just like take so much joy in the way that I walked, and I walk that way in and out of drag because that's just how I walk. And so I walk slower. Then I'm not like, I walk slower and I walk my ass out instead of like my dick forward, I'm not giving you a Discord Adams, but I'm giving you like Aunt Lulame, which is literally my grandmother's name. Lulame. So because of that, they really loved me. And I kind of felt a little ashamed and embarrassed every time she said it, because I used to get called that as a kid, and it was like, oh, you Slewfoot, you're Slewfoot, and it's so funny the things that you can call a child that'll make them embarrassed, and then all of a sudden it's just literally you're just calling out what you're seeing.
It's like calling someone brown eyes.
It's like, oh, all right, brown eyes.
I'm like, yeah, I have brown eyes.
Yeah, my eyes are brown.
Right.
Like the other day, someone said, all right, Crocs. And I was like, yeah, I'm wearing Crocs. And these
So
Crocs
I'm
are
wearing
very,
my
very-
Crocs right now, Sapphira.
Exactly. And my Crocs are huge. These are my Crocs. These are platform Crocs.
Those are incredible.
They really are. And someone I think they stepped on them or tripped on them. And they were like, ooh, I'm sorry. And I was like, well, don't do it again. They were like, all right, Crocs. And I was like, yes, I'm wearing Crocs.
Yes. Oh my God. Those are wear outside and maybe kick somebody Crocs. Mine are just my little indoor shoes.
And these are I can wear them outside. I can walk in the snow.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not going to worry about sit down.
That was to the dog.
Yes. And he's trying to figure out what he was going to do. And it was like, what are you doing? So
Yes. So now you're taking Slewfoot and you are.
So I've now embraced Slewfoot. I've embraced it. So many people call me Slewfoot every tour I'm on, every time I'm out doing a gig. Hey, Slewfoot. Every meet and greet, everyone's just like Slewfoot. When I was walking down the street in Philadelphia, just a random day in the spring or fall, I'm not sure, probably spring. And me and my best friend were just walking to go get some ice cream from an ice cream shop. There was this guy who was doing something on the side of a building. He had scaffolding and all that kind of stuff. And he just looks over and he goes, Slewfoot! And I was like, what? And this guy looked like he'd be more of a fan of the Eagles than Drag Race.
Okay.
And so to see this big burly dude who was just doing some construction stop what he was doing so that he could get a picture with me.
Oh, he wasn't just he wasn't calling you what you were, he was saying what you were doing.
He knew me from RuPaul's Drag Race. Yeah, he wasn't just saying, hey, you're Slewfoot. He was like, hey, that's Slue. That's my name to a lot of people. I'm Sapphira, but I'm also Slewfoot.
Yeah. So what are you bringing in One Slue Over the Cuckoo's Nest? If you were to describe your brand of comedy or the kind of show that people can expect, what would you say?
I would say it's very observational humor. I'm going to, pull the screen back on a lot of things. We're going to look under the hood. We're going to say, what is this? What is this? We're going to talk about, America.
Why? Is something going on? Everything's fine. Everything's
We're going to talk about We're going to talk about our childhood. We're going to talk about what we learned about America and what's happening now, and like the way that those things just aren't. It's like, what were we being taught? We were being taught like 101. We weren't, and we were being taught 101 from the beginning to the end of school.
Yeah.
And then we went to college, and then they were like, oh, there's actually so much more. And it was like, why were we being taught the exact same stuff from the start to the end? That's strange to me. I talk about, the way that people take care of their kids. I talk about a thing I call Black Mama Magic. I talk about flying to and from many different places, because after Drag Race, I ended up, doing so much traveling. I did 5 or 6 tours, and a couple of those were outside of the States. So I talk about flying all the way to Australia, and then all the way from Australia to the UK, which felt like even more. Yeah. And I think they're both 14-hour flights.
It's
the
a
second
lot.
one was just
It's a lot.
But
yeah.
And we just talk about, my observations in all of that, because, when you're flying a lot, you get to see a lot of people from a lot of different places, not all act the same.
No.
And some of us are like, I remember when I was in Australia, I have a bit when I talk about being in Australia, and when I landed in Australia, the amount of Black people tripled. Because it's just that place is so damn white. It's just so white, and people will look at me and like, oh, we have another famous Black celebrity here in Australia, because those are the only Black people who go to Australia.
Oh, funny.
But it's just a like time for us to all just laugh and breathe for a second, because things are really heavy right now.
Yeah, that's terrific. You were talking about flying, and my mind immediately went to this one time. My husband and I were flying from one European city to another, and we were both on aisle seats. And so I could see him, and underneath his seat, and the woman behind him took her shoes off and tucked them all the way underneath his seat, to the point where her feet could touch the back of his feet. And I have a picture of how close her bare feet are to his feet. And it's people just...
She must have been very tall.
I think she was like really stretched out, and her legs were... Yeah, she was... And the plane was quite small, so...
Okay. Yeah, she was really feeling it.
Right,
exactly. Because you were going from European city to European city.
Yeah.
There's all stuff over there.
I know. I'm like, girl, the flight is 48 minutes. Can't you keep your shoes on?
Yeah.
It's fine. Where you're traveling all over the place, where are you looking forward to going on this tour?
Actually, all the places I'm going, I'm so excited about. I've mostly been to all of these places on some level.
Yeah.
On one of the tours I've been on, or just performing when I was doing a lot of like club performances.
Sure.
And so like I've been to all these places, so I'm very excited to go back and like see my old friends, my new friends that I made the last time I was there.
Yeah.
Experiences those places. I love Birmingham, Alabama. I love Pittsburgh. I love Buffalo. Buffalo is my first stop, actually. And it's like an hour away from Rochester. And Rochester is where I went to the Eastman School of Music. So I have this very
Lots
special
of people.
bond.
Yeah, of course.
With that area of New York. And then, of course, I'm excited to go back home to Houston, Texas, and perform for many friends. And
Fantastic. I'm so excited for your tour, for people to experience it. Where are people buying tickets? I'll have the link in the show notes of this episode so people can check out everywhere that you're going. Sapphira Cristál, break a leg with one Slue over the cuckoo's nest, but be careful, because you don't want to, because that's what the Slue is all about, that. So don't break a leg.
Yeah, you can get all your tickets from sapphira.com. I tried to make it a little easier because, Sapphira Cristál, some people still spell it with a Y. So as long as you know how to spell my first name, you can definitely get to the tickets. So look
2 P's and an H.
2 P's and an H. SEESAPPHIRA.com.
When you said S-E-E, I was like, it's P-P. What? Right, no, C, Sapphira.
Yeah, and not C Sapphira. You
No,
mean so it's
S-E-E.
SEA.com.
Fantastic. Sapphira, thank you so much. Thank you for all of the reading recs. We should all go check out Eli's poetry and have a great rest of your day.
Awesome. Thank you.